Muguruza, Konta ousted from Australian Open. Wimbledon champion Garbine Muguruza lost 7-6, 7, 6-4 to Hsieh Su-Wei, while Johanna Konta lost to lucky loser Bernarda Pera 6-4, 7-5. Wimbledon champion Garbine Muguruza became the biggest casualty of the Australian Open so far, stunned by Taiwan's Hsieh Su-Wei in straight sets on Thursday. The third seed, whose preparation was hampered by a thigh injury, was always trailing against the world number 88 before losing 7-6, 7-1, 6-4 in 1 hour and 59 minutes on Rod Laver Arena. Hsieh, whose previous best at Melbourne Park was a last 16 defeat to Justine Henin 10 years ago, goes on to meet 26th seed Agnieszka Radwańska of Poland in the third round. Earlier, Johanna Konta fell to a shock second-round loss at the Australian Open as lucky loser Bernarda Pera's dream run continued in Melbourne. Pera stunned the British ninth seed 6-4, 7-5 in a huge upset at Melbourne Park on Thursday. The American at 23 is making her main draw debut at a Grand Slam after replacing the injured Margarita Gasparian. Pera had been beaten by Victoria Golubic in the final round of qualifying, but the left-handed world number 123 has taken her chance in the main draw. She made the most of an error-filled performance by Konta, who had reached at least the quarterfinals the past 2 years at the Australian Open. Australian Open 2018, Will Ferrell jokes about entering tournament during press conference. Hollywood superstar Will Ferrell is in Melbourne for the Australian Open, and after conducting a hilarious interview with Roger Federer on Tuesday night, the Anchorman star held his own press conference at Melbourne Park today. Ferrell has been at Rod Laver Arena for each of the 4 days of players so far, but it has been unclear, until now, why he's in town. "I'm entering in the draw. I'm ready," he told Grand Slam champion Jim Courier. "I had a lot of frequent flyer miles and I needed to get rid of them. No, I'm a big tennis fan. And I just with some friends of ours, one of which is married to an Aussie, we thought, what are you doing in January? Let's go check out the Australian Open. It has exceeded expectations in terms of obviously what an amazing venue. Melbourne, great city, and some amazing matches so far while he has been enjoying the tennis." Ferrell has been extremely disappointed with one aspect of his trip. "You know what? No one is recognizing me, and I'm really upset by that," he laughed. "So I have been walking through the streets dressed as many of the characters I have played in films, and people still aren't recognizing me. So that's been a little disappointing." Ferrell treated the crowd on Tuesday night when he interviewed defending champion Federer after his first-round win and quizzed him on his game, including if he would describe his game as like a silky gazelle. But he wouldn't describe his own tennis ability in the same way. "I have a power game, which means I can hit it really hard," he said. "Doesn't mean it's going to go in, but I don't have much of a backhand. I run around the backhand presently. If I can get a first serve in, it's heaven." While Ferrell said he's enjoying Melbourne, he did leave a tip for how we can improve our city. "I think driving on the wrong side of the road needs to be switched," he said. "It's very hard to drive over here, for me. So if that could be, that's probably an easy thing to fix. Right?" Ferrell conducted his press conference alongside Courier and gave the popular Channel 7 commentator some tips for his post-match on-court interviews from the mind of his Anchorman character, Ron Burgundy. Ron would probably tell Jim to be a little more inebriated in his post-match interviews, he said. That's where Ron Burgundy draws his strength. As for his tip for men's and women's winners, it's hard to pick against Federer, he said. I think that's what's so exciting right now about men's and women's tennis. It's never been more wide open, so I don't know. On the women's side, that's a tricky one. How is Halep's ankle going to recover? That's a big question mark. Svitolina has question marks. We'll just keep talking around in circles and not give you an answer. That's what I do. Ferrell will be leaving Australia on Friday.